Hello everyone, welcome back to Overwatch. In this video, I want to talk about a build I don't think a lot of people are really talking about or taking note of. I personally think this is a build that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on because I think a lot of Kiriko players tend to gravitate towards a different way of playing. I think a lot of Kirikos like to just focus on being the flanking DPS Kiriko with their kunais, where, if they're good with their aim, I mean, okay, it's an extremely annoying thing to go up against. I personally don't believe in that kind of playstyle when it comes to playing as a support. I believe in actually supporting my team. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that getting some damage output from your healers, your supports, is helpful. But if they are the kind of supports that are only DPSing and not actually helping or supporting or healing their team, then they're basically just trolling or griefing. And I said this in my other video about Zenyatta, about how you have to make sure you are also healing as well as trying to DPS. If you can DPS, great, but you should also make sure that you are supporting your team, whether it be healing them or something. You are support. That is your job, to support your team. And it's just a playstyle that I just don't personally like ever really. I mean, I don't personally agree with it, but I'm not going to necessarily say it's wrong if you're able to do well with it or make it work. If that's the way you'd like to play Kiriko, fine. Just don't grief your team in the process, because otherwise it's going to make it look like you're being selfish because you just want to DPS as a support character, which is not very helpful for your team if you're letting them not get healed and die, I actually caused a team to rage at one of their supports because they were not doing that. They were more focused on damaging and trying to take us out rather than heal our team, and I made them pay for it, and they got mad at the support for playing that way. I kind of liked a Healing of Fuda build. Like, there is stuff in there to actually make your, a Healing of Fuda build work. Like extra projectile speed to make it go faster. Like more attack speed and more weapon power allows your Healing of Fuda to do more healing. However, the build I've actually come to really like, and I'm actually going to show this in a replay of a game that I just had, like, moments ago, to back up what I'm talking about here. Now, I know a lot of people love doing the clone power, but I mean, it's okay. Believe it or not, it can actually still get kills if they're low enough health. But it's clear Blizzard is really trying to nerf it to make it less of a auto-aim extra teammate as opposed to a utility, which is what it's kind of supposed to. It's supposed to be like a decoy to throw off the enemy team, right? But a lot of Kirikos, I think, have a tendency to get cloned Fleetfoot so they can just teleport everywhere, wherever they want, and just be like, they'll teleport, they'll flank the back line, attack them, and then swift step out when all of a sudden they start getting focused and such. And yeah, that's just not really. I don't think necessarily every player is gonna want to adapt or do that type of playstyle when it comes to Kiriko. Personally, in my opinion, this is the kind of build that a lot of different players can go ahead and try, because it's not requiring you to do that. You're basically there. What this build is ideally intended to do is allow you to be able to support your team with cleanses and providing them with extra health, attack speed, and healing as well, and then being able to get your ult more often, which can dramatically change the course of a game. So this is the build I came up with. There's the code in case you want to import it right there. As you can see, this build is mainly focused on ability power, along with your Suzus, your Kitsune Rush ult, and your Swift Step. Now, I will say there is a little flexibility here. If you still want to do the clone, you can swap out Cleansing Charge for Clone Conjuration. Cleansing Charge, I think, is really good for this build if you are facing, say, an Ashe or a Junker Queen or an Ana, and they keep putting those kind of negative effects on your team. But if you are not facing any of those characters, if the enemy team doesn't really have anything that's going to be putting a lot of negative effects on you, then you don't have to take this. You could just simply go ahead and take Clone Conjuration. However, For the rest of the build, in my opinion, what you should be also taking are these things here to empower your Kitsune, the extra charge for the Suzu, because an extra charge for Suzu is so strong. And then some of these other items that really empower, such as making your Kitsune rush last longer, giving your teammates and yourself, if you hit the Suzu, for yourself as well, attack speed and movement speed, having your Kitsune rush heal yourself and your team. When you swift step to your allies, they get healed over time. The Suzu grants overhealth for yourself and your teammates. When you swift step, you give yourself overhealth. And then there's some very other flexibility things here, such as when you use an ability that heals, which will include your Suzu and your swift step. When you get those things, it reduces its cooldown for each unique ally that it heals. You could give yourself movement speed and the ability to double jump. When you use your ability, like your swift step or your Suzu, all of a sudden you can have more attack speed for 3 seconds. So this is the kind of like flexibility thing. So let me kind of give you an idea here of what I'm talking about. So ideally, what I would say to get are these things here, and then this is the build. Ideally, this is the late game build that you want to have, and this is something I'm going to show you in a round 7 I had not long ago. But let me kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to this build.
Let my sunlight guide you.
See that? So to go over this, you get an extra charge for Suzu. Every time you cleanse a negative effect, you gain more ultimate charge for each hero you cleansed, which could be your whole team if they're grouped up properly. Your Kitsune Rush will cleanse Kiriko negative effects and make her invulnerable for the first 4 seconds. And Kitsune Rush will reduce your enemy's movement speed by 50% for 2 seconds. Now, I didn't know how strong this was until I was on the receiving end of it yesterday, where I was like, why am I so slow? And then realized, oh, it's because the Kitsune, that's why. Suzu gives attack speed and movement speed. It heals them for 80 health every second. Your swift step will heal nearby allies. Overhealth, longer Kitsune.
You take a lot of damage, huh? I'm with you.
See that healing over time from the swift step? And as you can see, it's AoE healing, so it heals multiple. And look at the ultimate charge you're getting because of this.
Hi, sunshine. Let the Kitsune guide you.
And of course, they're getting the buffs for attack speed and such. And if you also Suzu them, they're getting even more attack speed. I'm telling you guys, this is going to allow you to have more Kitsunes. It's going to let you provide buffs to your teammates.
Hey.
Lots of overhealth. And of course, and being able to, in the midst of a massive team fight going on, popping a Kitsune that hurts the enemy team and empowers your team, it's a big deal. Now, let me take you to a replay to show you what I'm talking about. This just happened not too long ago. Once I got this replay going, once I picked this up, I was like, okay, I have to include this. So this was the game that I just had. We fell down 3-1. We were struggling. We had a Genji that was not doing all that well. But we were able to pull it off and pull off a 3-1 comeback here, mainly because of what we were able to pick up, including myself. So let me show you the round 7 that we just had to help kind of back up what I'm talking about here. So this was the team we were facing. They had an Ashe and a Junker Queen. So it was like, alright, I have to take the thing to cleanse negative effects. Because I just had this feeling that we were going to be dealing with all negative effects from both the Ashe and the Junker Queen. And possibly even the Juno and the Cassidy, which it turns out, yeah, the Juno took the Cyber Venom, so I had even more stuff to cleanse. So there were times where our Sigma was kind of allowing us get bullied by the Junker Queen and let himself get bullied by the Junker Queen. I was really wanting him to be more, aggressive. The Genji at times was, well, you can see the cash difference there. He at times was just going off and getting picked off by the Ashe, so he was struggling quite a bit in this game. Our soldier was doing fine because, well, I talked about this in a separate video, he was doing the visor build. And yeah, and he also put together that because of the way I was building with Kitsune, he knew, okay, like, if I can combine visor with Kitsune. Now, I don't think he had one big, like, there were a couple times he tried to pair it up, but yeah. Our Mercy also was doing fine, though I'm a little surprised at this final loadout here. I guess she didn't have enough cash. It's a very interesting build that our Mercy went with here. But as you can see, I went with the exact build I just showed you guys in the practice range. This was my build for this big final round here. So I was a little surprised by, I think our Mercy was a little indecisive probably on what she wanted to do here, but looks like she really wanted to up the weapon power here. Our soldier went 85% weapon power. He actually took a couple things. I was like, I'm not sure if I would have recommended those, but hey, he was able to make it work by the final round. So here we go. Now, actually, hold on a second. Let me back this up, and I want you guys to see this from my perspective, because I want you guys to keep track of, see, my ultimate charge and see my cooldowns and how I am trying to take full utilization of my cooldowns here. Now, unfortunately, we kind of split up here at the beginning. I wasn't a fan of this. I was like, guys, why are we splitting up? And I was constantly watching the Genji, because as you can see, he keeps going in front, and I'm like, dude, the Ashe has been picking you off all game. Why are you doing this? And I was trying to, even at one point, I wanted to type to the Genji, be like, dude, slow down, be more cautious. But since we were split, I was like, okay, so our Genji got picked off by the Ashe again. And I'm like, okay, at least I'll make use of my Swift Step here because they're on both sides. But unfortunately, we do get picked here. So we don't start off very well here, but we do turn around. But look at my ult charge. I'm already on the verge of a Kitsune. I'm just having to constantly cleanse our Sigma of all these negative effects. And just like that, I have a Kitsune. I'm really trying to show you guys, how big this is. Now, I didn't want to do this because I didn't want us to be right there in the midst of a Bob. I was like, okay. We also have a couple of people dead. I really want to use this Kitsune to push to the point because, remember, my Kitsune slows the enemy team. So I pop it here, seeing the Junker Queen is right there. So she's going to be slow. Look how slow she's moving. And of course, the Kitsune lowers my cooldown, so even though she ulted, I'm able to cleanse pretty well there. And our soldier takes advantage of it, and we're able to now claim the point here. And look, I'm already at 41% ult charge. And of course, our Genji is off getting picked again. Whether it be by the Ashe or the Cassidy, I'm like, ugh. At one point here, I go over here and I just type Genji, just to let him know that I'm just like, dude, you need to be more cautious right now. They keep picking you off. At some point, you have got to rethink of how you're playing here. So I go over and I Suzu our soldier because since I hear him ult, I want to give him more attack speed.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Because I understand how strong his build is at this point. If I give him more attack speed, he's going to be annihilating them. And at this point, I'm pinging the Genji. Fall back! Fall back! Because I'm just not wanting this Genji to again get picked off before this fight.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Alright, we're going to use this to keep them, because if they try to run through this, they're just going to be slowed. And I'm like, oh wait, someone's on the point. And it's Bob. So I hope you guys can see the power of this build. I feel like my Kitsune around here. Okay, I didn't use it here, but this first Kitsune I used helped turn this around. Plus my cleanses helped turn this around as well, because I was cleansing so much of what they were doing. I was cleansing the Ash's Dynamite. I was cleansing the Juno's Cyber Venom. I was cleansing the Junker Queen's ult and her wounds. I was cleansing so much stuff.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
And that's the power of this build. You're not only cleansing all these negative effects, but every time you do, you're providing extra buffs, whether it be health or attack speed, movement speed, all this stuff. And remember, you are also doing healing output because of your Swift Step. So if you are making sure that you are a decent distance so you can Swift Step every time, you're just getting free AoE healing there. And from this point onwards, we basically, with the exception of our Genji getting picked off here, and I was so frustrated with our Genji at this point. Like in the first round, he was 0 for 3 with less than 1,000 damage. I was like, oh gosh, this is one of these Genjis. I'm like, why is it that I get the Genjis on the enemy team that are like, they play as if they are like former Grandmaster Genjis, or current Grandmaster Genjis, whatever they are, because I don't know, because they always keep their profiles private. And then why is it I get the Genjis on my team that it looks like they're trying out the character for the first time?
Hi, sunshine. My ultimate is almost ready. Fall back.
I'm like, Genji, get back here! Don't get picked off before this upcoming fight, because they have to push for the point here. And I'm anticipating that, okay, if they push right here, they're all going to get slowed.
Kitsune guide you.
And I even told my team, if you're low on health or something, get in my Kitsune because it's going to heal you. And stay grouped up so I can be able to group cleanse. Because you're going to get less value from your Suzu if the team is constantly spread out. So if you have a Kiriko that is going with this Suzu build, stay grouped so that they can cleanse more of you each time. Alright? Do you guys see what I'm talking about here? I hope that replay kind of demonstrated that. And like, that's just like, I mean, yeah, that was just one round, but that's round 7 with everything in the build I was talking about. And I hope you can see like how, in my opinion, that build really helped turn that around, because we probably would have lost had we not been able to do that. Had I not been able to cleanse all the stuff, had my Kitsune not been able to literally like change the game. I really hope you guys like what you saw here, and if you want, give it a try in Stadium with Kiriko. Try out this build. I know a lot of people talk about the clone, but honestly, it's optional. If you're facing a team that doesn't have all those negative effects, then go ahead and swap out the one that gives you more ultimate charge when you cleanse something for the clone. You can still get some value out of it. But I hope you guys can see what I'm talking about when it comes to this build. In fact, I think... So yeah, I actually ended up out-healing our Mercy because of this. In fact, for the match, I out-healed the Mercy for this entire match. 29k compared to the 26k. And again, that's not from my healing of Fudas, that's from the overhealth and the healing over time that I'm getting from both the Suzus and the Swift Steps and the healing from the Kitsune. So, yeah. Again, really trying to help showcase why I think this is actually a really good build for Kiriko that doesn't require you to do other like crazy stuff or anything. If you can just kind of pay attention to like your teams having negative effects and Suzu at the right time, you can completely change how fights go. And really empower some of your other teammates, like how I basically empowered our soldier here. And you can see the difference here between our soldier and our Genji. I'm not trying to... I don't want to like crap all over this Genji here, but this guy really needs to go to the practice range or go do some work before he tries this again, because he was more of a hindrance to our team than an actual aid, whereas our soldier was like pretty much doing the bulk of everything when it comes to the damage and such. And our Sigma, he may not have been dying that much, but he was really letting them just kind of like bully us for the first few rounds until we finally started to turn things around by round 5. But anyways, yeah, Kiriko attack power build. This is the build. You saw the code for it earlier. Highly recommend this build. I think it's really, really good. Again, you can swap out this one for the clone if you want, if they're not doing a lot of negative effects. But honestly, I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it because you're going to get more Kitsunes more often, which is going to dramatically change things. You guys know as well as I do how impactful a good Kitsune rush can impact a game. So, I hope you try this out and enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time.